on 2K Sports. That is the place you want to be. And we're happy to have you with us on our broadcast today. Now, the starting group for the Milwaukee Bucks. Ilyasova out there with Gooden. Then there's Ellis. Then there's Jennings. And it's Delfino in at the small forward position. And for the Knicks, Melo and Amari at the forward slots. Then it's Jeremy Lin. And it's Chandler. And it's Shumpert in at the shooting guard.
Well, this is a Knicks team that has been built through free agency and trades. Of course, when you're in New York, you're a very attractive destination for free agents. And that's why they have gone that route rather than through the draft.
And so off the tip, it's New York.
That's all you.
Picked up by Ellis. Here is Lin. Clock at 6. Outside Anthony. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Anthony's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Never easy to trade picks away, as you were saying, Steve, but the Knicks, Clark made up for it last year by nabbing Fields in that second round.
Yeah, that was a big get. I mean, a really nice second-round pick for him, Kevin. The Knicks didn't draft Tony Douglas, but traded for him cheap, too. So even with moving their high pick, they still added some pretty good talent.
Johnny Walsh doing a pretty good job.
He was one of the best I've been for a long time.
And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Bucks on D. It's a 3-point game. Deflects the pass. Jennings with the steal. So it's Milwaukee now. Knocked loose. And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time. And so here's New York. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, I had a chance to talk with head coach Scott Skiles. He knows they're up against a team that plays best when they're getting to the rim. He told me that their #1 concern is going to be sliding over to help on any drives and closing up any lanes to the hoop as quickly as possible. Good rotation is key, guys.
All right, Doris, thanks. Here's Ellis. The Knicks making the shot, and that one's good.
Not a great year for the Bucks, and as they were eliminated from playoff contention, Jennings let his unhappiness with that and with the roster turnover be known. He was pretty adamant and demonstrative about it.
Shumpert, and he lays it up and in.
Boy, they are locked and loaded early. 3 for 3.
Stolen. Solo break. To the paint. And taken away by Ellis. And here's the fast break. Pulls up, and the basket good. Ellis has got his second bucket of the game to go. Knicks on offense. 3-point lead. Touching back on that story about Jennings, he has a bit of a point, but you still can't expect smooth sailing each year as a now third-year player. Steve, what do you think about that?
Well, you usually just have to work harder to get back to the playoffs. I would think Jennings will do that. He was disappointing in his second season. His field goal percentage was way down. And he's got a lot of improvement to make individually, and he doesn't need to worry about what's going on with the roster around him.
Here's Delfino after Amari Stoudemire's bucket. 4 on the shot clock. The 3 is launched, and Brandon Jennings with the 3. Jennings has got his first 3 points of the game.
And the offense, 3 or 4, a solid start for this game.
Lin kicks to Chandler. A jump hook, no good. And it's Milwaukee the other way.
4 or 5 to start the game. That's their first miss.
There's the feed to Gooden. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. And that'll tie this game up.
That's a lot of height for the defense to have to deal with.
You know what, guys? Especially against a guy with his touch.
Shots good by Anthony.
Man, is he hard to defend. If you play him one way, he'll just go the other.
Ellis outside. Outside Jennings. It's Delfino outside. The shot's good. Jennings making the play.
This looks like a three-point contest out there, guys.
Yeah, you would fit right in, partner. I mean, you hit one on us, we'll hit one on you. A terrific battle going on here.
Anthony up on top. He's got 6. Here's Stoudemire. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Good, strong move, and not much defense there.
He did what he could to try to handle that pass, but that was too hard to handle.
The Knicks making a switch here. Smith is checked in, and the Bucks making a change here as well. And Baamute's checked in. Here's Jennings. About 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Smith against Ellis. Tyson Chandler pulls it in.
And the defender, the rotation came over, really seemed to bother him, and that threw that shot off.
From deep three-point range. The Bucks trail. And here is Ellis. Anthony gets called for the reach. That's his first foul.
First personal foul, team's first.
Here's Gooden. Shot from the inbound. And the jumper is good. And that makes it a tie ball game.
Boy, I like the fluidity I'm seeing from them on offense. It's a thing of beauty. Fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. They're moving the ball well, finding the open man, making that extra pass. They're playing very unselfishly right now.
Smith. Roll it.
Here's Anthony. Ball's knocked loose. Fast break, here they come. By himself. And it's Monte Ellis with the finish.
And that steal really triggered the fast break. Nice play.
Hey, you're right, and the break itself may have been even better.
They broke it in no time at all.
So tough to hit a three like that in transition.
Now Smith defending. Ilyasova kicks to Mbamute. Second chance shot. Tries it again. No luck. And New York takes it the other way. Here is Lynn, looking for his first bucket of the game. And it's good. Through contact, it's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Milwaukee, going into last season, guys, really looked to be on the upswing. They had made the playoffs the previous year. They had a nice group of young players. But the free agent acquisitions that they made really didn't pan out.
It's Ellis on the wing. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. Back to what Steve was saying about the Bucks there. They did make some moves. They just didn't pan out.
No, they did not. And you never know. I mean, I thought they were well-intentioned in the moves they made. But when you get between those lines, sometimes it just doesn't come together as you had hoped. And that clearly was the case for Milwaukee.
Free throw good. Ellis.
Boy, I tell you, Monte Ellis is so unbelievably quick. A great scorer, but tremendous athleticism, a huge part of his game as well.
The Knicks making a switch here. Novak's checked in. A few years back, Ellis badly injured his ankle in a moped accident that we all read about. And there were some concerns whether it would slow him down. Steve, you see any change in speed?
Not at all, Kevin. I mean, he looks as athletic and as quick and strong as ever. And I think the big thing with Monte, he's really matured. He's developed a more professional.
And slammed down hard. Another look on the Sprite Slam Cam.
Yes, indeedy. Boy, I love that one. That's not just any plain dunk. That has some panache to it.
It's an energizer, guys. That is an energizer.
That is, and that will lift the whole team up.
I can't say I was really expecting him to shoot the three on the break, but he knocked it down. A few things you know you're going to get with a Scott Skiles coach team. Tough defense, tough-mindedness, fundamentals are going to be demanded. That was a formula that worked for the Bucks in their playoff run in 2010, but they need to find some offense now.
And it's another Milwaukee shot right there going in.
It has been all offense here early.
It sure has been. I mean, both teams clicking, and it's been an entertaining game as well, guys.
Here is Lynn. He has 6. Takes a 3. And again, New York with the triple. Back to Skiles. Unfortunately, last year they were just okay in those areas. But, Steve, they just had a horrible offense.
They were very good defensively, Kevin, but they just could not score. And I think that's the big challenge this year for the Bucks if they're going to get back into the playoffs. They've got to find a way to get easy baskets offensively.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
And, you know, guys, last season, the expectations for Milwaukee were really high. But they just couldn't live up to those hopes. They won only 13 games away from home all year. And when you can't win on the road, you can't really be a successful NBA team.
A different look for Milwaukee. Larry Sanders is checked in for Gooden. And Delfino is subbed in for Ilyasova. Knocks it loose. It's stolen by Stoudemire. The basket falls, and that's going to be a blocking call.
Finger roll. That's pure style, guys. I like that.
Back to the Bucks. You know, Clark, you'd better play well on the road if you want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a must. I mean, you got to be really solid and good at home and then respectable on the road. And the Bucks only won a third of its road games, and that's a definite way to be watching the playoffs.
Steve just said 13 wins. That's hard to believe, but that's what they got, so they're going to have to improve on that.
A lot of hands down there on the block. That's a tough position to be in offensively.
Ellis can't get it to go.
I'll tell you what, against one of the best finishers, that's exactly the kind of defense you need to play.
Here is Lynn. 9 points in the game so far. And the ball travels out of bounds. Turnover.
Not sure who made the blunder there, but there's no way that should have been a turnover.
Here's Jennings. Under 4 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Shot to stop the run, but they get it back.
Well, the big story for the Knicks this past year was the acquisition of Carmelo Anthony. Having already signed Amari Stoudemire, the Knicks made the deal for Anthony and all of a sudden had one of the great 1-2 combinations in the league.
And the first one at the line is good. He hits both from the stripe. Here is Lynn. Oh, Chandler inside. Bucks trail by 7. Straight up. It's blocked. Takes it up. And off the basket, he was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more. And back to Melo and Amari, they just need to build the right supporting cast around those two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, those are two foundational pieces that are all-stars, so plugging in around them will be the next step. They're in the process of doing that, too. I mean, New York definitely reversed their fortunes with the moves they made last season.
Timeout called, the Bucks.
Well, he's had enough of that lackadaisical defense. They've got to help on penetration and deny all of these points in the paint. Well, fellas, you know, Melo coming over to the Knicks, the big story around the league, really, as the Knicks like to make headlines, and they did with that move. Some, though, can criticize New York for being more concerned with being on the front page than actually winning. I'm not sure I quite agree with that, but certainly some people may have felt that way.
Jared Jeffries, who's checked in for New York. Shumpert comes in for Amari Stoudemire. Now Ellis, 8 points for him. Gets it to go. Ellis has got 10 points. Back to what you brought up, they have always tried to be a part of big trades that are being discussed. Sometimes they work, Steve, and sometimes they don't for that team.
Yeah, but anytime you have a chance to get a superstar like Carmelo Anthony or like Amari Stoudemire, I think you go ahead and do it. And so New York is set up now for some success over the coming years, but we'll see how they go forward and what kind of roster they put around their two stars.
Jennings for three. And another three for Milwaukee.
A little slow on the defensive rotation there.
The Knicks leading by 8. Shumpert, he's guarded by Ellis. That's good. He has 6.
Tell you what, guys, they are really playing well.
Yeah, up double digits already and continuing to pour it on. No let up in sight. Hey, come around.
For the 3. The shot's good. Jennings making the play. Jennings has got 5 assists in the game.
His team really needs this kind of effort, and he is bringing it forward. He's converted time and time again this quarter. You know, the story with Milwaukee last year was a team that just struggled to score the ball, Kevin. I mean, nobody was able to consistently put it in the basket for him.
And he makes the first. And Clark, on that note, only 6 Bucks in double-digit scoring averages last year. With Jennings, the fleet-footed Jennings, topping the list at 16.
You know, it's just the fact that the top scorer was only at 16 a game.
Yeah, and Jennings was shooting about 40%, so that's part of the problem. He takes a lot of shots. He doesn't always make them. So usually you need your top scorers to be high percentage shooters. It allows you to get back defensively, and it allows you to really be able to count on somebody night after night.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bucks. Gooden comes in for Larry Sanders. And Udrich in for Brandon Jennings.
You know, Monte Ellis, he's a great scorer, but he also brings to mind the illustrated man. He's got plenty of tattoos. He's pretty much all covered, especially on those arms.
Tyson Chandler, he's checked in for the Knicks. And he's good on the second. As Clark says, Monte Ellis was asked how many tattoos he's had. He said he lost count at 18, and I believe him. Steve, I know you've got 20, 25 yourself. I heard you go to the same tattoo guy or not?
Yeah, same guy. And, you know, I got a dragon on my back this year. And it's probably my favorite tattoo. Here, I'll show it to you. And you have to like the way they've started out offensively.
Yeah, I like the way they've put together basket after basket, consecutive hoops, and as a result, they put together a nice lead here.
Here's Delfino. 1:25 left here in the first quarter. Ellis outside. Al Smith defending. Shot's good from Mba'amute. Mba'amute's got 6. Here's Jeffries.
Well, you know, after the long playoff drought, the Knicks were finally back in the postseason last year. Did not quite turn out the way they hoped it would, but still, you got to think something to build on.
Taking 2 shots.
No good on the second free throw. Bucks trail by 10. Udrich the pass to Gooden. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Yeah, back in the Knicks-Celtics series, Steve, the Knicks were swept, but they were hurt in a big way by injuries. Earlier, Clark was talking about the injured point guard Chauncey Billups. He was a big missing piece.
Yeah, he was gone after game 1. Remember, Amari Stoudemire hurt his back in game 2 and wasn't the same at that point. You keep those guys healthy, and I think that's a much more competitive series. Well, Milwaukee had such a tough season a year ago. They had a lot of high hopes, but injuries seemed to derail them, and they never could get going, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
It's tipped.
I think he baited him on that pass. Very savvy defense.
And it's slammed in by Ellis.
Well, that's great. You take advantage of that turnover and convert at the other end.
Absolutely. I mean, points off turnovers this time generated off the steal.
We're back just a bit. You know, Milwaukee much more comfortable, it seems, Clark, playing Eastern Conference opponents. Of course, they see him much more.
Yeah, and that's a familiarity as part of it, but also I think the fact that the Bucks prefer the slowdown game. And in the Eastern Conference, more teams play that way than don't. So the Bucks had a comfort level there and still had a tough time getting wins.
Looking to end the run. And he gets off the fast break with a monster slam.
You know, you wouldn't pin the point guard tag on him the way he throws it down like that.
No way.
Monster dunks like that, I mean, that's not not just for big fellas, guys. I mean, the little guys can do that at times, too. That was good awareness. Fouling and avoiding giving up an easy dunk.
Well, I think that's just good, smart basketball. Make him earn his points at the line.
And so he hits both. Here is Lin. Smith outside. Drops in the tray. Smith's got 14 points.
He has looked very comfortable from three-point land today.
Well, the bulk of his points.
And they're scoring.